So I've said on this channel a couple of times that I am learning through this 100 days of daily posting challenge here that I'm doing on YouTube to start my YouTube journey. I am learning to trust my own voice more. And today we're going to test that in real time. I'm doing something completely different. I'm challenging myself in real time with you all, and also to encourage you to let you know, like, it's not that serious. We edit ourselves, we criticize ourselves, myself included. I've been on that journey, and it still kind of comes up sometimes. And sometimes we just have to trust ourselves. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you exactly how it's going to look different today in just a second, and what I'm doing to test this whole thing that I've said that I'm learning to trust my own voice more. Let's see if that's for real, Imani. So, full transparency, I am not a stranger to speaking off the cuff, whether everything that comes out is golden. I can stammer, I can stutter, I look off because that's my way of thinking to myself. I will pause. I know these things about myself. I have done things where I've been very prepared, where I've had to speak at something, and I've done podcasts and I've just gone live. I've been doing some form of social media on this internet street since 2017. So, full transparency, it's not like I've never come off the cuff. But when it comes to YouTube videos and this challenge of I'm almost at 100 days of posting every single day here on YouTube for 100 days, I'm like 5 or 6 videos away from that. I have not scripted not one video. I have not scripted not one video. Yes, I have had notes. My notes look like I've jotted down 3 to 5 things that I know I want to say because I know that I can ramble. I'm a verbal processor, I can go off, and that's how I bring myself back. Like, I really want to hit this note, and it'll be like 3 or 4 words per bullet, sometimes only one word just to bring me back. That's the extent of preparation. In addition to, I know what I'm going to talk about. Today, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but stick with me, stay tuned, because I'm going to tell you how exactly we are going to figure out what I'm talking about today, which will do 2 things for you. One, it'll show you, like I said, hey, we can't take ourselves too seriously. We can really trust ourselves and our voice. And 2, there will be a message. Once I figure out what I'm talking about, there will be a message in all of this. So, first things first, my bad. Welcome. Hey, I'm Imani. I'm a marriage coach. So, yes, on the channel, I talk a lot about relationships, but also I talk a lot about life, how to figure ourselves out, and self discovery and self growth when life is lifing, and how to move through and navigate through changes and challenges and transition, and what that looks like in real time. So, that's what we do here. So, let's get into it. So, how are we going to figure out what we're talking about today? So, here's hoping that I don't have the mirror on and you guys can see this. Now I'm thinking about this. You guys can see this properly. But isn't this beautiful? Hold on. Bam. I have this. This is a mantra and affirmation deck, Black owned business. I can definitely tag this down below. This is not a sponsored video. Child, I ain't got no sponsors yet. Okay, this is not a sponsored video. This is just something that I bought that I enjoy, that I like from someone that I wanted to support and that I use. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out 3 of these cards, and then I'm going to like shuffle through. I'm going to lay out 3 of these cards, and then I'm going to turn all 3 of those cards over, and then I'm going to see which one of those 3 things speak to me, and that's what I'm going to speak on today. That's what we're going to talk about today. Isn't this is a gorgeous little. I'm going to hope. Let's see if my editing skills are good enough where I can actually put a video of me. Ideally, the ideal is a video of me actually getting these cards together, okay? Getting them together. This is how life is gonna life right now. Y'all, I'm so hot. I'm so hot. It's hot out here. It's humid, hot. The tables have turned here in Panama City from dry season to rainy season, and I'm hot in my own house because I'm trying to acclimate myself, and we're trying not to have the AC on you know, all day, every day. A girl's not used to it, but we making it happen. Okay, so the last one I'm just gonna pick, just whatever. Okay, bam. So I put out 3 cards, y'all. So I'm turning them over. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the first one says, let's see, which one is speaking to me? I am financially abundant. Money flows to me with ease. 2, I love myself. I respect myself and I accept myself exactly as I am. And 3, all that I need flows to me with ease. Okay, there's a lot of ease in here, but the one that is speaking to me is I love myself, I respect myself, and I accept myself exactly as I am. There's something about the cadence of that that is speaking to me on today. And so that's what we're going to talk about. The journey to loving, respecting, and accepting myself exactly as I am. It feels like the goal. The goal is, hey, I love myself, I respect myself, and I accept myself exactly as I am. But there's definitely been seasons. Let me know if this resonates. Again, who is hot, y'all? Hold on, I can't start out parched. Okay, but I love myself and respect myself and accept myself. There's definitely been seasons where this has been challenged. This idea of, do you love yourself? And it's not just the physical. I've talked yesterday in the mirror. When I talked about the mirror and the intimacy, I talked a lot about the physicality and looking myself in the mirror and learning to love myself, no beat face, barefaced. I'm not looking in the mirror because I'm looking fly or I'm dressed fly, but just studying myself physically. I've also talked about my journey on here with my second child and having my son, and how I didn't recognize my own body and what that looked like for me, but also things that I struggle with internally. I Marriage has been one of the biggest mirrors that has been held up to me. That relationship and motherhood. Marriage and motherhood are just mirrors, okay? All the M's. Hello, alliteration. Marriage, motherhood have been that element and aspect of my life that has said, this is who you are, and begged me to ask myself the question, but is this who you want to be? I ask myself that question often because I remember early on in my relationship with my husband, in our marriage, it was just, we were figuring each other out and it was a lot. And I had prided myself on being a strong communicator from like childhood. Just, and I've talked about this a little bit on this channel too. And I talked about my relationship with my parents and watching their relationship, kind of implode upon itself. And the things that I would say to them and that they would mention, and being a conflict mediator in middle school and being able to really bridge gaps when it came to communication. But when it came to my own relationship and my own marriage, we're talking about, yeah, you can you can be able to communicate, but can you communicate with this person? Because this person comes with their own stuff and you come with your own stuff, and now you're putting your stuff together. And that was a season of trial and error, if I'm being honest. And I remember there were moments where I would be triggered to such anger that I hadn't really felt. I don't think I had people that were close to me, but no one close to me in that kind of relationship that could elicit that kind of rage in me. And I was like, oh snap. I could justify why I was enraged, right? I could be like, and you weren't listening to me, and you don't let me get a word in edgewise. And I could justify, I could say you and you and you. And a lot of times we do that. This is the reason why. And that doesn't mean that it's not true. It just means that I was triggered. I was triggered. This is my trigger. I can't change you. And so what am I going to do about me? So this is one of those moments where I had to ask myself the question, like, the monster is coming out and I don't want to be the monster, right? This may be a sharper edge of who I am, but it's not someone that I'm going to respect. And it's not someone that I'm going to love on, not as a whole, but as an aspect of myself. And so that then I had to decide, okay, this is something that I want to shift, that I want to improve upon. I don't want to be a part of who I am in this next iteration of self as I'm growing, as I'm changing, as I'm shifting. So I'm going to have to do something about it. And that's exactly what I did. I had to gather tools that were going to help me not be triggered. I can't help, I'm like, I can't make you not trigger me. That's your work. But my work is, what do I need to do differently in this moment? Do I need to walk away? Do I need to just kind of announce, hey, I need a minute, whether you accept it or not, and I need to walk away? And I wasn't a walk away person. I was like, let's talk about it right now person. So I needed to quell that because I'm a verbal processor. I needed to take some space. I needed to utilize that space. I need to breathe. I need to pause. You might be like, oh, we all know to do that. We all know. First of all, we don't all know, everything. And second of all, it's a difference between knowing something and then implementing it in real life. And that's what I need to do. These are tools that I'm going to actually use, and they're not going to collect dust in a toolbox. And so I had to work on self. And as I worked on that and I saw the difference in my nervous system, I saw the difference in how I reacted to things, I saw the difference in how I was able to speak. I understood and I was aware of what the trigger was, what was happening to me, feeling devoid of voice. And that made me stutter. That made me, breathe erratically. And I was taking control of that again for myself. And it was also helping me regulate my body, my nervous system, my physical response to my emotional state. I was getting healthier emotionally and physically. And in that growth, I found that I could accept, love, and respect on the journey who I was becoming. And I don't think it's a very popular opinion to say, because to say that there's a part of me that I don't love. And not because of there's a pity thing happen, like a personal pity party or anything like that, but that there's a part of me that is sharper than I want it to be. There's a part of me that I don't want to continue to hold on to, that I want to heal from, that I want to start to unlearn, that I want to learn new ways to be able to combat that or overcome that part of myself. And in that journey, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to give myself grace for making mistakes. It's not a light switch. It's not going to happen automatically. But in that journey, I'm going to love and I'm going to accept and I'm going to respect the journey that I am on. But in that moment, when I'm aware of, ooh, I don't like that, I'm not loving on that aspect that I don't like. And that is the catalyst for my change. You feel me? Like, let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down, because that's real for me. And I did the same thing with my physical journey, loving myself. Child, we gonna go through iterations. I see pictures of me back in the day, like, look at you, girl. Look at you. You were rocking them 20s pictures. I'm not even talking about teens, okay? But them 20s pictures, I got with my man, and within less than a year, I put on some love weight when we first started dating. I was like, dang, what's going on? But still, I wasn't tripping then. I was like, okay, that just told me, like, let me get healthier, let me be more conscious of what I'm doing, what I'm eating, how much I'm eating, and what I could gain from it, and what I'm not like, I'm gonna lose weight, but I'm gonna gain health. I'm gonna gain stamina. I'm gonna gain endurance. I'm gonna, gain the ability not to huff and puff up these stairs. Okay. I'm gonna gain ideally longevity in my life. And so I looking at my physical journey around, we often look at it like, what are we gonna lose? We want to lose weight. But what are we going to gain? And overall health and well-being. I'm gaining health and well-being. That's usually that's what I tell myself, because that's my why. And in my physical journey of love and respect and acceptance of myself exactly as I am, right? And I'm going to add to that, as I am becoming, when I make intentional conscious choices to change something in my life. The same concept that I talked about with the sharper edges of the aspects of maybe how I handle conflict, how I handle struggle that I had to work through. Same thing with my physical. I'm like, okay, right now I am not as healthy as I want to be, but I'm not hating on myself because of it. I am making the decision of like, how can I, and this is how I really talk to myself like this, how can I make a change that is going to fold into my life that I can actually do? I'm doing this right now. Some of you who follow me for a while, you know I've also slipped in my health and my health journey and the consistency around just fitness and movement of my body so I can gain all the things that I'm talking about. I am like, what's the lowest hanging fruit that I can grab hold of that I can fold into my life? Because there was a season before we left for Panama that I was 5 to 6 days a week on core cardio and weight training. And I got out of the consistency of that with leading up to the move, all of the shifts that happen and leading up to the move, selling our house, still living in it while we're selling it, which is its own thing in and of itself. And then actually moving and acclimating and getting settled in and getting the kids settled in. And so I came out of my routine. And now I'm dropping into creating a habit again in a way that's sustainable for me. So I am stretching and I'm jumping rope. And if I get a workout in, great. Today I got a workout in. I did 10 minutes of deep core work. Boom. And I'm like, is my goal to get to a place where I'm back to doing my cardio, my weight training, and my core work? Absolutely. My ultimate goal is movement intentionally. My ultimate goal is continuing to gain strength and well-being and health, okay, and feel that in my body in this stage and season of my life. Okay, my left knee wants to act funny, and I know when I jump rope, it starts to act right. So we're gonna do that for yourself. We're gonna take care of this human because I do love and respect and accept you. And I'm also loving and respecting and accepting you on the journey. How do I do that? Grace. I let Grace in. Come on, Grace. Grace, would you like a glass of water? Can I get you some tea? You know, put your feet up, relax. You know what I mean? Would you like a fan and AC? Would you like a cookie? Grace is my friend. Grace is a friend to me. That is how I love, accept, and respect on the journey. I might not be where I want to be. I might not be at what I think right now is my goal, because then you get there and then something shifts too, right? You get a new why or you get a new goal or whatever it is in this moment. Honoring that. I might not be there yet because it takes time to get there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself grace as I get there because I know I'm putting in the effort. I know if I fall off, I can get back on. And so I give myself that room to be able to do that. And then I love on me through it. And grace is how I love on me through the journey. I respect the fact that I'm putting in the effort and I'm putting the intention in and I'm aware and I'm working towards that consistency again. And I didn't just say, F it, I'm giving up. Right. And I accept where I am in the moment because I know that with the effort that I'm putting in, I'm going to have incremental wins along the way. Another way that I can say right now that I love, respect, and accept myself where I am or exactly where I am, and I'm adding parentheses and who I am becoming, right? Is that I celebrate really little ish. I celebrate the little things. And what's a blessing is that my husband and I both have that same idea, right? I remember when we were dating, he had a job, he worked at Apple, and then he took a second job. I feel like it was during the holidays or something like that at the UGG store. And I was like, oh, he's getting another job. And I went to the store. I'm like, I'm his girlfriend. I went to the store. I got him a little card, one of those little cards you can write in. And I was just congratulating him on his first day of work. It's going to be great. And I gave it to him. And, he kept that forever and ever. Like he had that little card because I just wanted to acknowledge and celebrate that he was having his first day at his second job. And I am very close to having 100 days of daily posting here on YouTube. And today, or maybe it was yesterday, he said to me, okay, so what day is that going to be? Okay, we're going to have to celebrate. This weekend, we're going to celebrate. I think it's this weekend, like Saturday or Friday or something like that. And he's like, we're going to have to celebrate that you made it to 100 days. That's a milestone. Other people are like, girl, that's just 100 days. Like, he's like, no, we're going to celebrate. We're going to do something, what you want to do. I celebrate these quote unquote small things. We celebrate them. We acknowledge them. We hoop and holler for it because that's the big deal. The journey is the big deal, not just the destination. You were working hard during the journey to get to the destination. You are putting in that intention, that effort, that time, that energy to get there. That deserves celebration. And for myself, I'm saying this to you, but for myself, I'm like, hell yeah, that deserves celebration. Was I always here? No. I had coaches and mentors and friends and people through conversation and through introspective work that helped me get to the place and realizing the importance of celebrating the small things. That's not true. Hold on. I would say that I definitely understood the importance of it. It was the implementing it that I had to get to. It was the actually doing it. Like, oh, yeah, I know I should celebrate the little things. Like, no. Somebody has to say no, like for real. Let's go out to eat and toast to this. But really, we just, no, let's do it. And one of the things that I have strived to do is also sprinkle that with other people. I remember I met this woman who she had, where were we? Were we in Atlanta? I think she had she was the first Black woman to have one of those autonomous grocery stores. And I was talking to her a little bit, and she was telling me about how she had this other goal, like her next goal. I was like, but girl, like, and she was telling me all these accolades for this current goal that she had already met, and she was already on to the next. And I was like, girl, have you celebrated and taken the time to acknowledge this right here? It's amazing. She was like, yeah, I know, I haven't. And like, I've been there. Like, I understood her. She was like, yeah, I know, I should. I haven't really. I was like, girl, you need to sell. You know what I'm saying? Let's get you a patty. Like, let's acknowledge this moment in this moment. And the celebrations don't have to be quote unquote big, but just acknowledging those things is a game changer. It's another way that I love on myself, respect myself, and accept myself where I am because I'm like, the journey matters, Zimani. The journey matters, you behind the screen listening to this. So yeah, today's card, y'all. Boom. Let me show you again in praying that that it's not backwards, okay? But in case, I love myself, I respect myself, and I accept myself exactly as I am, parentheses, and for exactly who I am becoming, right? The journey. So I think the journey is what we honed in on today. So yeah, y'all. Trust it. I can't off the cuff for you in real time. How'd I do? Okay. Off the cuff for real. Didn't know a lick of what I was gonna say. Had this little prompt, got this little prompt with you to be able to share it. And my hope and prayer that whatever came through me and came out of my mouth today was something that someone needed to hear, something that is going to sit with you after this video stops playing. And it is definitely something that I needed to hear. I didn't know what I was going to say. And so being able to reflect in real time and speak some of this stuff out loud is helpful for me too. Like, yes, girl, let me remember what it is that I do. Let me remember that, yes, you are on this journey of loving and respecting and accepting yourself. You're constantly here. This is a constant thing that happens in several seasons, ongoing in your life, and you have risen to the occasion. And along the way, you have gotten support and help and friendship and conversation that has helped you along the journey. And let's not forget grace. Okay. Come on, grace. So, yeah, that's what I have for you today. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Hey, I'm Imani Aisha. I make videos right now every single day. for the next few days up to 100 days, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here on this YouTube journey, but I make videos to remind us to stay connected to ourselves and to our partners and to a life that feels good to you. Creating a life that feels good to you. So, if that kind of thing is your vibe, please subscribe. I would love to continue the conversation and the journey with you. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate you being here. For those of you on the relationship tip who know that you want more around communication and connection, starting with self and how that expands into your relationship and your marriage, hit me up in the description below, or just, meet me in the description below. I got you. And yeah, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.